This is IXL practice, skill K9. Students will solve and graph solutions to two-step linear inequalities. So two-step linear inequalities is very similar to solving two-step linear equations. We use inverse operations, inverse meaning the opposite. We have the closed dot for equal to, we have the open dot for not equal to. And remember that the alligator eats the bigger value. So let's get started. Number 1, we have negative p plus 2 is greater than or equal to 10. So I'm just going to take my original and rewrite it over here. We need to start doing inverse operations starting with addition and subtraction. Addition and subtraction comes before multiplication and division. So the opposite of plus 2 is minus 2. So I'm going to subtract 2 from both sides. The 2's cancel out and I get negative p is greater than or equal to 10 minus 2. 10 minus 2 is 8. And for our last step, we still have the negative sign in front of p. This does not mean that we're done. We still have to get rid of that sign. So the opposite, this is a negative 1. The opposite of multiply by a negative 1 is divide by a negative 1. So on both sides, we divide by negative 1, and we get p. Since we did divide by a negative, we have to flip our sign. So I'm going to take this sign, flip it to be less than or equal to 8 divided by negative 1 is negative 8. And this is my final inequality solution, and I can also graph this inequality on the number line. Starting with negative 8, I put my line, my dot at negative 8. It is a closed dot, and it is a closed dot because we have this line underneath the sign, and p is less than negative 8. Because the negative 8 is being eaten, it is bigger, so less goes to the left. Number 2, we have 9 plus 3f is less than 3. So I'm starting with the side that has the f, and I need to subtract 9 from both sides because this is adding 9. So subtract 9 from both sides. The 9's cancel out, and I get 3f is less than 3 minus 9. 3 minus 9 is negative 6. I'm still looking at the side that has the variable. I have positive 3 multiplied by f. So the opposite of multiply by 3 is divide by 3. So on both sides, I'm dividing by 3. So I get f is less than negative 6 divided by 3 is negative 2. And the f is by itself, so this is my final answer. And I'm going to graph it on my grid. So negative 2 should have an open dot, and f is smaller than negative 2. So it should go to the left. And our last one, 1 plus 4w is less than 9. So I'm looking at the side that has the variable, And I need to get rid of the addition first, this plus 1. So the opposite of plus 1 is minus 1. That gives me 4w is less than 9 minus 1 is 8. And divide both sides by 4. Gives me w is less than 2. So w is less than 2 is my inequality, and I can represent this inequality as a number line graph by putting a dot at 2, positive 2, and w is less than 2. So this one is also pointed to the left. And that is how you solve and graph solutions to two-step linear inequalities.